it seems like every major boxer at the moment is being asked about whether they would consider fighting in mixed martial arts. And now that question has been posed to the heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua. And he responded by saying, I'm going to quote him directly here. He said, "I like fighting. I'd do whatever. I'd probably get beaten. The only thing that they can't do in an MMA fight against me is submissions. But they can kick, elbow, bite, whatever they want. Just no submissions. I can't beat a guy by submission. That takes a lot of time to learn the skills and submissions, which I don't have the time for. But when it comes to pure aggression and fighting rules, I can definitely fight, so I don't mind that. If you look at most boxers who've crossed over into MMA, they get beaten on the ground. James Toney, Roy Jones, they were phenomenal boxers, but they just couldn't compete in the cage because of the ground and pound game." Those are the words of Anthony Joshua. Now, just to pick him up on a few things he said there, Roy Jones Jr. never fought in MMA. So he's confused about that. And when he's talking about they can't do submissions, what he's saying is that he wouldn't be willing to fight someone in MMA with submissions. I guess that's what he's saying. But everything else, you know, kicks and all the other stuff is cool. He even said biting. Well, they don't bite in MMA. Well, he said, yeah, all the other stuff is cool, but I can't fight somebody when they're allowed to do submissions because it just takes too long to learn those kind of skills. Interesting. But as far as the elbows and kicking and all that, he's cool with it. Anthony Joshua is a fighter. You know, he is a fighter. Willing to go into the cage. Maybe he's the kind of athlete who, with a year's training, 18 months training, he could actually compete and do well in MMA. I'm not saying he would. I'm just hypothesizing here because he's a good enough athlete, you know, to learn different skills. I mean, you see the kind of training he does. He's a very, very talented athlete. Yeah, never mind the boxing side of it. The actual, in fact, he might even be a better athlete than he is a boxer in some ways, at least. You know, I know there's some video out there of him trying to slam dunk a basketball when he couldn't do it. Maybe he wasn't trying, I don't know. But in terms of the running that he does and all the different training that he gets up to, it's the kind of stuff which a lot of smaller guys would struggle to do. But Anthony Joshua manages to do it. So maybe that would help him in MMA. I'm not sure. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. Do you think it's getting silly now, all these fighters considering MMA? And how do you think Joshua would do if he crossed over? You know, if he had like a year to train to defend against takedowns and whatnot. Or maybe he might have a special fight where they're not allowed to do submissions. It's just a stand-up fight. To me, that would be interesting, actually. A stand-up fight with little 4-ounce gloves on, where they're allowed to kick, they're allowed to elbow. They're even allowed to take you down to ground and pound, but they're not allowed to get you in submission holds. No choking, no arm bars, and all that kind of stuff. That would be actually quite interesting. How would Joshua do in that situation? Would he get his legs kicked to pieces by the guys who come from the Muay Thai, sorry? Let me know how you feel. Drop your comments in the comment section below. It's Hatman, I'm out.